If you've been training for months and you still don't look aesthetic, it's probably because you're skipping these 3 muscles. And I made this mistake for years. I trained my chest, my arms, my back, and my legs, and I still looked mid. But as soon as I started hitting these 3 muscles, my physique actually started to look aesthetic and complete. The first muscle group you should be training is going to be your neck. And how many people actually go ahead and train their necks? Not a lot. But your neck is actually one of the most visible muscles in your whole body, because you can be jacked and you can have big arms, you can have a big chest, you can have big legs. But if your neck is skinny and you're wearing clothes, nobody can really tell that you even lift. Because if you have a skinny neck, everyone subconsciously, whether they tell you or not, they're just gonna think that you're not actually that strong, that you're not actually that jacked. But if you actually grow your neck, you're going to be looking more bigger in clothes, and you're going to be looking more dominant and masculine. And whenever you see a guy who has a thick neck and he's walking around in the street, you just automatically assume that this guy is strong and he can probably beat you in a fight, because that is the natural sort of belief which we have when we see somebody with big necks. Because people who usually have big necks, they are actually usually strong, and they usually have high testosterone. And people with high testosterone usually have bigger traps, they have bigger shoulders, and they have a bigger neck as well, because there's a lot of androgen receptors in these specific muscles. And the neck is actually one of the most fastest growing muscles in your whole body, and you can actually achieve your dream neck size in about a year or 2. And the ideal neck length is going to be somewhere around where your neck actually goes ahead and starts where your ear begins. So basically, my neck isn't even at the ideal length yet, even though I've been training for multiple months now. And as soon as you actually start training your neck, you're going to be experiencing a lot of growth, because the neck is actually very sensitive to training, because you don't usually add any sort of resistance training day to day when you actually go ahead and use your neck. So the only 2 exercises which you need for neck is going to be neck curls and side neck curls. And I personally do them at the end of my workouts 2 times per week. First of all, with neck curls, what you need to do is basically lie flat on a bench, or you can lie flat on your bed. It doesn't matter, just a flat surface, ideally a bench at the gym. And you basically you can put a towel or a little beanie on your head, so you basically don't get a stamp on your head. But then you just go ahead and apply resistance by adding some weight. You can also pick a dumbbell and just put it on your forehead as well. And you basically just curl your neck. And the only mistake which you should be avoiding is don't go ahead and turn this into a crunch. So basically, you should be only lifting with your head, not with your whole body, and not be crunching at the very top. And make sure to pick a light weight, especially if you're very new to neck training. You do not need to be ego lifting with this exercise specifically, because you can easily actually get injured and you can actually break your neck, I'm pretty sure, if you actually choose a too big weight. And once you go ahead and finish neck curls, then you can move on to side neck curls. And you know how if you want to have big broad shoulders, you actually have to train the side of your shoulder, because by training the side of your shoulder, the lateral delt is going to make your shoulders look more rounder, going to make your shoulders look more bigger. So the same way goes with your neck. If you train the sides of your neck is obviously just going to have more width and it's going to look way more bigger. So same principle with side neck curls. What you basically do is you lie sideways on a bench and you just add the plate on the side of your head, and you also just go ahead and curl your neck like this. And yeah, you basically finish one side and then you can immediately just switch sides. No need to have a long rest break or anything. You just go ahead and switch sides. And with neck exercises, it's fine to just rest anywhere from 1 to 2 minutes. No need to rest any longer. And you can simply train your neck just 10 minutes, 15 minutes after your workout. Once you've completed your full workout, you can just train your neck and do this 2 times per week, and I'm sure that your neck is actually going to look more bigger and you're going to look more jacked and aesthetic. Now, the second muscle group you should be training is going to be your forearms. And How many people, again, don't train their forearms and they just rely on the compound exercises? And yes, you can train your forearms just based off the compound exercises, but this is similar to the people who actually say that, oh yeah, got big arms just from bench pressing. There are certain genetic anomalies who actually get big just doing like one singular exercise. But if you're anything like me, you need to be doing multiple different exercises for multiple different muscle groups in order to actually grow sufficiently. And in order to grow your forearms, you need to be hitting them directly, because your forearms, unlike your neck, is actually one of the most stubborn muscles, but at the same time, it is actually one of the most sexiest and attractive muscles on your whole body. And it just makes your actual arm look way more bigger if you actually have big forearms, right? So in order to actually train your forearms, I personally do just two exercises. I do reverse curls and I do hammer curls. And you can also be doing wrist curls, but I find that these two exercises are enough, and you can just do them both on your upper body day or on separate days. And I personally do one time per week hammer curls, and I do 2 times per week of reverse curls near the end of my workout. And that has actually helped me to get more bigger forearms, which actually make my whole arm look more bigger. And training your forearms needs actual direct exercises in order to have impressive big forearms. And lastly, the third muscle group you should be training is going to be your rear delts. And I was incredibly guilty of actually skipping this muscle group, because I used to think that, yeah, I'm just gonna hit my rear delts through pull-ups from different row exercises. Now, as for the rear delts, I don't do any sort of exercises for the rear delts.
Are you fucking kidding me? Who the fuck is this cunt? Fucking turn this shit off. We gotta put some real shit on, bro. Yeah, you ready, cunt?
Just like, look at my shoulder right now, you know? It looks way more rounder ever since I just started training my rear delts. The rear delt is here, and I was thinking like, oh yeah, like the rear delt is way in the back, you know, like nobody sees my rear delts, nobody cares, right? But go to the gym and actually try and get a massive rear delt pump. And I'm sure that if you get a massive rear delt pump, your shoulder is just going to look way more rounder from the side and even from the front. And just by having big rear delts, it's going to make you look way more broader. It's going to improve your V-taper from every single angle, right? And by training your rear delts is actually going to prevent this rounded posture, which we get through using our phones and also doing heavy pressing without any sort of stretching or even training your rear delts. Now, in order to train your rear delts, all you just need is to do a rear delt fly. It doesn't matter if you're doing this with dumbbells, on a cable. I personally do this on a pec deck. Train your rear delts 2 to 3 times per week, and I'm sure that your shoulders are just going to look way more bigger, and it's going to improve your aesthetics by improving your V-taper. So those were my 3 exercises which you should be training in the gym, which actually improves your aesthetics and improves your physique. And if you've enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you want a free one-on-one consultation with me, it's down in the description. A free one-on-one call for the first 15 people who actually book it are going to be getting it for free. And if you've enjoyed this video, I'm sure that you will enjoy some of these videos right up here.